I want a shirt that has famous promo quotes. Like maybe something one legendary Becky Lynch would say on the mic.
Would you say one of the greatest female talkers of all time?
Eso mismo. That part.
268 episodes. We've been talking about the greatest things, the worst things, the dopest shit, the wackest shit, all the shit in wrestling and professional wrestling today, yesterday, and tomorrow. And one of the constants that we've been on 268 episodes has been how the women haven't been always booked great, and how Becky Lynch and the Four Horsewomen have been rocking out.
With it.
When we talk about the greatest talkers of all time, that is what the conversation is. I think it was Wrestle Features brought that up on the X on Twitter.
There
right?
the post right there.
Right? That was Wrestle Features? No, WrestleMania?
Wrestle Features.
Okay. Wrestle Features. Yeah, that's right. So they came out and they said, yo, is Becky Lynch one of the greatest talkers of all time? What? So shout out to Wrestle Features, first of all. Second of all, thoughts. Because when you think about Becky Lynch and her run, as it were,
she talked people into the building, right?
When the man comes around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. When you say best talkers, you think
talkers, right?
Well, in talkers in general, you think guys, legendary guys like The Rock, MJF, for being like funny and shit and being rememberable for what they say. Rememberables listics. Yes. The rememberabilistics.
Not memorable,
of it
yo. You gotta be rememberable.
Is the things. But Becky, I don't feel cuts too many promos that I remember per se. But she saves a lot more than what she I guess hits home runs for. Like she ain't dropping pipe bombs. She ain't dropping no pipe bombs. But when Trish comes out,
she hits more than she misses.
Definitely more than she misses. But more of the saving, because like Trish will come out and she'll
save the segment. Yeah,
she'll save the segment
because Trish has been out of practice, right?
Yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard watches. Yeah,
and then Becky will.
Yeah, and she'll bring everybody back.
But
refresh us with some lemonade, as it were.
Yes, and I feel she does that more often than not. With not just Trish. I'm picking on Trish right now.
You mean chicken salad out of chicken shit?
Yes, that salad, the salad, the chicken salad.
I want to talk about the lemonade real quick. Hey. All right, Beyonce, hear me out. Because I think that brings out a very important caveat in the Becky Lynch character. It's not just F.U., Charlotte or Nia Jax or whoever she's wrestling, right? It's F.U. to the establishment, right? Like now it's like F.U. Triple H, who wanted to throw a jab at her. Oh. About her throwing a jab, right? She posted up on SummerSlam like, oh, I'm just here making lemonade.
Oh, okay.
Right, with pictures of lemonades, right? Like, hey, life hands you lemons. So Triple H, after SummerSlam, he's like, yeah, we have so much talent that sometimes you gotta go make lemonade.
Oh, okay, I got that. I like that.
So she came out on Raw with a motherfucking picture of lemonade.
Oh.
Not only that.
That's what that was.
Not only that.
I was completely lost.
She drank the lemonade and she goes, she does the spit. That, I think. Now, to call her the greatest female talker of all time,
I'm calling her that right now.
I think we gotta have the conversation. But I think that puts her in a very different space than she's been.
Yeah.
I think that's different than what she's done. And I'm glad you brought up the improvisation. When she got knocked the fuck out and she was bleeding out her nose.
Yes. Oh, yes.
In the moment. Maybe she don't remember because she was concussed, maybe whatever. But she knew enough in the moment to feed the moment, to be in the moment.
Yeah.
She could have walked in the back, covered her face, and handled it.
And that was it.
And everybody would be like, damn, yo, she got her nose broke down. I understand. She stood there. She took in the moment. She felt the moment. And that, I think, is her greatest strength. To call her the greatest, though, I don't know.
Who else you got?
Who else do you
Well,
have?
it's funny you say Trish has been struggling so far right now because Trish, in the past,
she was there.
Was one of those.
She was her.
Yeah.
Benchmark players.
For a long time, she was the measuring stick, right? You say GOAT, and automatically it was, well, are they as good as Trish?
Can you argue that?
I can't because I don't remember much.
You don't remember Trisha's run?
No, on the mic. Just on the mic. The run, yeah.
You remember the angles with Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon and all that?
Or with
Like,
Lita, or with Mickey.
With Lita, yes. With Lita, definitely. They killed that shit. Not so much Mickey. Oh yes, Mickey James.
Mickey James.
Yes. Okay.
And Mickey James on the mic.
Yes, sir.
Damn, Jericho
Yes,
too.
sir.
Christian, that whole love triangle thing.
Right.
Wow. Damn, you're right. She was holding it down back then.
You know who's one that probably won't get the credit she deserves, unfortunately, because of her last name? One Stephanie McMahon.
Ooh.
Yo, honestly,
Like, listen, as the figurehead, as the sinister side piece, she always played the part. Like,
And
she was able to bring out that aggression, that other, out of her. I'm not saying opponent because it wasn't like she was wrestling him, but out of her rival at the moment.
But then, also she wrestled. And then when she wrestled, she had promos to do.
She did.
And she needed to sell stories.
Yep.
And sell tickets. And that she did. With the help of DX, maybe. But she still had to get comfortable with that microphone.
Absolutely.
And still deliver. And that oof. And then the responsibility backstage. And she became GM. And then every week was a segment with her.
And then John Cena slapped her ass.
bro,
John
and
Cena
how many
slapped the
segments was she in? Yo, she's got the kind of career. How many segments has she been in all her whole goddamn life?
Yeah.
How many people has she slapped?
Oh my God.
How many times has Vince McMahon thought about incest?
Oh no.
How many times? How many times?
A lot.
Yo, how many times has someone been?
Remember when he couldn't get it done with his own family, so he was like, "Yo, Burchill, Katie Lee, get out there."
She killed her vocal cords for pro wrestling. I agree. I
Yes,
hear
he
that.
did.
Yo,
I hear that.
Steph McMahon was that chick for a minute. So much so that Triple H drugged her, married her, and then they consummated a marriage
on USA
Three
Network.
baby girls later.
That is
Oh, that was
crazy
Edge that consummated
to
it.
say. But she did all of that for pro wrestling.
Yeah. No, Stephanie's up there.
Stumbles on the mic. You remember her tripping up? You remember her being weak sauce? In fact, in a lot of circumstances, she was the strongest or one of the strongest on the mic.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So, yeah, Stephanie
McMahon.
If you would include Vince in a conversation of the greatest talkers of all time, then you must include Steph.
Damn, that Vince is a good argument too because Vince was also a commentator.
So if we're gonna go the route of like non-wrestling female talent,
Oh, goddamn.
then you have to go back a bit, right? You have to go old school, as some would say.
Hit the Rolodex.
One sensational Sherry Martel.
Oh, bars. All right,
Right.
conversation's over.
She was not
Hogan?
She wasn't eye candy, right?
No, she wasn't.
Well, hold on.
She was eye candy.
You answered
No,
that
she
too
was-
fast because Sherry was hot.
No,
She
she was
was
hot, but that wasn't her only thing, right?
No, it wasn't her only thing. Cause she got in the she took bumps as well.
Right.
And she was in the mix.
Oh, she was a wrestler. She was
She
a
wrestled.
wrestler.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
wrestled.
Before
But
she
it
gets
wasn't
there.
her wrestling career. It was the microphone.
Yep.
It was her
Yeah.
presence. It was like how she acted on the sideline. It was
You were trusted to take these tag teams or these wrestlers backstage and cut a promo
Listen,
before the fight.
HBK would not be HBK without Sensational Sherry.
Ooh, Sean.
Some would say the same about Sonny.
Yep.
Ugh. More ways than one.
Wow. I heard she knows how to work a mic.
Hey, yo.
For different reasons.
Oh, that's not the same. That's not the same conversation. Allegedly, then.
Allegedly.
Right, is that-
I don't think it's alleged.
Oh, Well.
I feel like there's video documentation of it somewhere.
Wow. Hey. Oh,
Huh?
you talking about Sonny? Oh,
Hey, sunny
Well,
days. It's pouring outside.
someone that's near and dear to me that I think belongs in this conversation. Near and dear to you as well.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, don't be no punk about it.
Mm-mm.
We talk
won't be no
about
punk.
recent.
Miss AJ Lee.
Union City Zone.
Union
That's
City's finest stand up.
That's right.
You already know.
Right.
Jersey's here. And Jersey's on the mic. AJ Lee cutting a legendary promo that I love till this day. To this day.
Her own
To this
pipe
day.
bomb,
Play the clip. To this day.
ironically.
But more than just a pipe bomb, I think she was like, excellent every time she was on the mic.
In an era where maybe women's wrestling was not allowed to be as serious as it could have been, she made it serious, and she was able
brought
to
it back.
present a story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because who was dominating the mic at that time? The Bellas.
Bella Twins. Maybe Natty a couple times.
You
Lay
said
Cool. Flawless.
Lay Cool.
Yo, back up.
They did get a lot of TV time.
They had a lot of mic time that maybe wasn't necessary.
Because they had the whole thing with the belt, too, and they cut it in half or some shit. Was that them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the Undertaker on their side backstage.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps.
So they took up a lot of time.
But you know who is a great promo? A great promo. Improves. You don't even have to have the promo in the same language as the audience. Asuka.
Yo.
Like, tell me that I'm wrong. That you don't feel when she cuts a promo. I don't know what she's saying. I don't know a goddamn word that came out.
Chat Asuka.
Wow, what a conflict.
He's not lying.
Emotionally,
He's
right
not
now.
lying.
I'm like, that's
because
ridiculous.
there are women in that very same company who can speak English fluently, and when they get on the mic, I want to shut off the TV.
There's men that can't even speak English fluently.
Leave
on
me
the
out
roster.
of this. Oh, okay.
No, but
and they can't get over either. So like, Asuka breaking that barrier.
it's funny you say it because initially you say that, and I'm like, that's all right. You just being dumb, like, because we talk about talkers here, right? Like we need to talk.
Yeah.
But yo, every time she grabs the mic, like you're like, oh, you ain't ready for Asuka.
You're not
Like,
ready for
that
Asuka.
Nope.
business. Asuka about that business. Yo, you've been watching promos and you like, you know what? Trish kind of stuff, but she ain't about that business.
No.
Asuka be about that business though. You know she gonna spit in your face and your mouth. She'll be out here doing crazy.
She was like, you
Yo,
were
big
afraid of clowns when you were little. Guess what?
Big
Nightmare
facts.
unlocked.
Oh no.
Well, we'd be remiss not to mention
Will
the
we?
ladies that have carried this company through a whole new era, a women's revolution. When we talk about women's wrestling, yeah, there have been a lot of standard bearers and torch bearers really that have relay raced and passed the baton of what women's wrestling can be and what the women's revolution can be and what divas weren't and what women should and have. And when you look at it, it started in NXT. Stand and Deliver Ray?
Yep.
Sasha, Bailey,
Yes, sir.
Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. But really, Becky Lynch didn't come around until the man came around.
When she was main roster, Becky.
Right. Like that's really. But a lot of these women have been standing on their own 2 feet. Even Bailey, if we're being honest with ourselves, has come around more recently. Right.
I wanna know, would you be my girl? Listen, Bailey.
Do you miss the hugger?
As y'all have pointed out, has been working on her mic, working on her promo. The whole EO and Dakota Kai stable's been helping with that. But to be honest, from before, she was a terrible promo. She always stumbled. She always couldn't get the crowd behind her.
Who?
It's only until she started Bailey. It's only until she started mentioning them as ding dongs and you idiots, which is fucking gold. When she turned heel and just started cutting those promos.
JJ, I would agree with you that women's wrestling is clearly around long before WWE. The knockouts in Impact, I think they were the first to really bring out the in-ring for women's wrestling before the Four Horsewomen.
You know what?
But I don't know about talkers.
Nah, hold on.
Even if you go back to the territories, I don't think I can think of many women. I mean, Baby Doll can talk, but
Deanna?
she's after the fact, right? Deanna Peraza, I get it, but she's after the fact, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Who is it? Rosemary? Rosemary's the one with the face paint. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I like her.
Absolutely.
I like her, and I always thought Taya at Impact was better in presentation and match and talking and everything. But even that, like, we're not talking about the people at the level that WWE has been. Like, nobody at Impact has touched anybody that we've mentioned from WWE right now, unless, you know, prove me wrong. You know, convince me otherwise.
I can't even say Trinity, to be honest.
Trinity, she just got there.
Yeah.
Well, who?
That was really funny because when you said Trinity, I was thinking of a different Trinity from TNA.
Oh,
perchance. But
FBI.
if we look,
Google's it.
but then if we want to talk about Impact, if you want to talk about the knockouts, right? When the knockouts were at the top notch, when like really they started being like those chicks in wrestling, the top of the show, challenging for the world championship. Really, what you telling me is that Tessa Blanchard belongs in this conversation?
Fuck.
Because that's the only female that I remember, the only knockout and Impact that was really like gritty on the mic. And
I can give you Tessa Blanchard, regardless of the controversy and all that shit. And if you're only talking about Impact, she probably dominated. She
dominated Impact.
Yeah,
and a lot of that was in ring, and then she did work on the mic because I remember being like, "Yo, Tully needs to take notes."
And then her stories with this guy, what's his name?
Sam Callahan.
Callahan and shit. Like,
she made that shit believable on two fronts.
Yeah.
She was a tough broad, and then she held it down on the mic.
Tessa, you made the
but
list.
I don't know if I even want to give her that credit.
Yeah, it's a lot of no.
Yeah, Sasha Banks.
Nah,
right?
I was never on the mic.
She
yeah,
was
more
alright.
in-ring work, I guess.
I'll tell you, and you know what? Going to Japan and singing "You Really Suck." That ain't it.
That ain't it.
Nah, I thought it was hilarious. Don't do
I
that.
love Gail Kim.
Gail Kim.
Gail
Okay.
Kim as a wrestler probably reaches the level of all the people we listed, maybe even above a couple of them.
But on the mic,
But on the mic, I don't know if I would say Gail Kim on the mic was like,
know.
oh, I got to.
How about
Legend.
Mommy?
Well,
Rhea Ripley.
you talk about all time though. We talk about
Damn,
all time. Rhea Ripley all time.
Maybe not all time. She's hot right now.
Got some.
She's hot right
she got
now.
some quick-witted quips right now, right?
Yeah. Electra. I haven't heard
Carmen
Electra.
Electra. I
haven't
heard she
seen
had
her.
some videos. There was some movies Carmen Electra did.
Yo, Alexa's talking to me right now. Tell her she's not Electra. I said Electra, not Alexa.
Yo, word. Yo, why she listening, bro? Mind your business.
Mind your
The
business,
only
bro.
Electra I remember is from ECW, and I actually know her from other venues as well. But
Ooh. Alexa, stop talking.
she was the manager of a club nearby here.
Hey.
For a very long time.
You want to throw out somebody that's not WWE? I'm gonna throw out Francine.
Francine. Wow.
Francine, ECW.
Damn.
She out here.
Yeah, but as a talker,
How about Ivory?
Once again, as a talker, no.
Ivory!
Ivory, I will give you.
Yes. Obviously, but we back in the WWE.
Yeah.
Ivory was a great mouthpiece for the right to
Yo,
censor.
stop.
Yo.
We not talking
Yo.
about Sonny, bro.
That's the kind of things they were trying to stop.
Okay,
All right.
yeah. I can see how that could be taken.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
Don't
crazy.
call
That's a
her
lot right now.
mouthpiece. Yeah, subscribe and like, hit that button right now. All right, follow us on Twitch, SoundCloud, iTunes, your mother's